Investor's Edge with Gary Kaltbaum. Straight talk about you and your money. Now from the BizTalk studios, here is Gary Kaltbaum.
And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. I'm Gary Kaltbaum, your host. Hey, thanks for being with us today. Glad you're here, ladies and gentlemen. Happy that you are listening. It's Tuesday, October 1st. It's 2024. In case you don't know, this is serious talk on everything that affects you, and there's a lot of things that potentially will be affecting you going forward. We will do the election, the markets, the economy, war, your job, your industry, and who knows what else we have to cover. But first, if you do not get this radio show in your city, we'll post it at GaryK.com or also our Twitter feed, which is now X. And if you don't follow us on X, you should follow us on X. Just go to X and put our name in. And of course, if you'd like to email me, just be nice. That's not hard, right? Want to start out with the events of the day. And a little explanation in case you all don't know, because there's so much misinformation from the ass clowns that are out there that just amazingly in plain sight will lie to you about everything and anything. Regardless, they'll literally stand in front of, stand outside while it's raining and say it's sunny out. So let me explain to you what's going on. In case you don't know, Israel is the sliver of land in the Middle East up against the sea, with surrounding them Egypt and Syria and Lebanon and Jordan. And what they have done throughout the decades is built a magnificence of an economy, of freedom, everything good Israel has created. If you travel the highways of Israel, you will see on the top of buildings signs that say Amgen, Intel, Microsoft, all the great companies. Also, in case you don't know, Israel is just about the startup capital of the world. Great startup companies. Israel. In case you don't know, because you hear from these clowns that Israel is apartheid. And in case you don't know what apartheid is, look up South Africa and see what apartheid is. In Israel, Arabs, Muslims, Jews, Christians, Sikhs, every race, every creed, every color, every denomination, gays, trans, short, tall, fat, skinny, blonde, brunette, redhead, does not matter. Everybody is treated equally. Arabs are in the Knesset. That's their government. When you go into Old Town Jerusalem, they have all these stores, all these stalls, and as I walk through, there's the Muslim quarter, they call it, and people say, oh, isn't that separating? No, it's just the Muslim quarter, and the Jewish quarter, and the Christian quarter, and they're all living together, and eating together, and playing together. That's Israel. They've created this unbelievable economy. You can pray the way you want to pray. You can do whatever you want to do as long as you're within the rule of law. That's Israel in a nutshell. Iran, you go missing if you say anything bad about the government. In Israel, you can protest all you want against the government. These Gaza Palestinians, try being gay. They'll hang you by your feet. They'll murder you. How many Jews are in these other countries? Hardly any. But how many Arabs are in Israel? A ton. It's the opposite of apartheid. Now, the reason why Israel is hated by the terrorists is because they are jealous. They have created nothing. They have produced nothing. They have turned their places into crap. That's what they have done. Israel just goes about their merry way and creates and does great things. But what does Israel also have to deal with? Well, I finally found the pictures, and I'm going to post them on Twitter X tonight, of the first time I was in Israel. Imagine this. I want you to imagine. Middle of the day, in the summer, blue sky out. We're in this place called the Carmel Market where you buy food and spices. I mean, fantastic place. And you hear boom, and then sirens. And then you run out into the parking lot, and I look over my head, and the Iron Dome has taken out a missile above my head. And 5 times in Israel during my first trip, they put us into bomb shelters. The 6th time, I said, screw it, I'm not going in. And the 7th time, I said, screw it. The 6th time, I was in a restaurant in Tel Aviv, and the sirens go off. All the tourists ran into the bomb shelter in the restaurant. All the Israelis sat at their table, so I did also. Then, the night we're leaving, our plane turns back. They tell us it's mechanical. When we're about to land, guess what happens? There's 100 security cars there. It was a bomb threat. They wouldn't tell us that. And then the next day, they put us in a hotel on the beach, and the sirens go off, and they want us to go into the stairwell. I'm like, screw this, I ran outside. I'm not going to any stairwell. This is what they've been under. You know how Israel answered all those missiles? They didn't do anything. For years, they didn't do anything. For years. They just took it. And if they got a little too uppity, the bad guys, Israel would fire back. And all of a sudden, the Jew haters and Israel haters asked for ceasefire. Up yours. So, October 7th happens. By the way, we're almost a year to October 7th. And they still have hostages, and they still have Americans, and this moron of a president and vice president are doing nothing about it. If I was president of the United States and they're holding Americans hostage, these terrorists would know me firsthand. But no, nothing. Anyway, so Iran has all these proxies out there to the north of Israel called Hezbollah. They're terrorists. They're not people, they're animals. They're terrorists. Simple as that. They're terrorists. They murder for a living. That's all they care about. And what happened is Israel was attacked, and Israel said, screw this, we're done. Our number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5 job is to protect our citizens, so we're going to take these ass clowns out. And that's what they have done in Gaza. And of course, these terrorists hide amongst the civilians, and the head guy, you know where he is right now? In some bunker. He's in some bunker hiding with the hostages because he's afraid of being killed like the rest of the terrorists have been taken out. So Israel said hammer down, and they're taking out the heads of these terror organizations. And we're finding out the UN is part of it. As you know, UN's been an Israel-hating organization for a long time. They're not for democracy. They're a bunch of scumbags, the UN. They put North Korea and Russia on the Human Rights Commission and the Women's Rights Commission. It's like a comedy act. So, Iran attacked back tonight in Israel, sent a bunch of ballistic missiles in, and there was also a terror attack at a bus station in Jaffa, also with a few people dead by a bunch of scumbags also. And Israel took in the fire, great defense system. We don't know about casualties and how much damage. We'll find out overnight, but I think it's going to be limited. But guess what Israel's going to do next? Iran. And I don't know to what extent, but here's what Iran did. They pinpricked. Because they know if they go too far, look out. Do you see what Israel did with the pagers? Great intelligence. Do you know how they got great intelligence? Because it's a great country. These other countries don't know their asses from their elbows. and they're finding out capabilities. So Iran did their thing, and they've already stopped. I think they're probably done because they're a bunch of wimps. They know what's going to happen if they go too far. Israel will do something in kind, and we'll see what comes of it. Of course, the anti-Semite, racist Jew haters, and I blame the media also, because when it was Black Lives Matter, they were crapping in their pants 24/7. But for the students that are doing what they're doing on the colleges, kind of like, you get my point. So when all is said and done, Israel is going to go along their merry way and create great things. The terrorists, dead or hating. Up next, we'll put a bow tie and then the markets. This is the one and only Investor's Edge.
Hi, I'm Gary Kaltbaum, host of the nationally syndicated radio show Investor's Edge. We're not just handsome radio people. We manage investors' money for a living, specializing in fee-based discretionary money management. No big commissions, just a fee on the assets that's managed. We also provide a full range of personalized services, including retirement planning, fixed income, and educational needs, all to assist you in achieving your financial goals. Understanding not all individuals have the same needs, we'll carefully evaluate your personal goals to determine a proper investment strategy. If your current approach to investing is not getting you to where you would like to be, call us to make an appointment for a complimentary portfolio review. The number to call is 888-422-5559. That's 888-422-5559. That's 888-422-5559. Investment advisory services offered through Kaltbaum Capital Management.
It's time to switch on the integrator units and get the brain cells working.
You're listening to
Hey, this promises to be fun.
Investor's Edge
The last bastion of quality programming.
with Gary Kaltbaum.
It doesn't get better than this.
So, few things I want you to notice. Many years ago, it would have been a lot more difficult. Why? Because other Arab countries. But let me tell you what's happened to the other Arab countries now. They learned. They realized terrorism gets you nowhere, and they followed Israel's lead. They followed Israel's lead and found very smart people, very hardworking people in their own countries to create and produce. And they don't want anything of Iran. But they have to be careful with their words. But if you notice, they are not backing Iran. They have nothing to do with Iran. And what they're doing is they're following suit that Israel does. And that is to create and produce and to love and to pray and just to be a democracy, in a matter of speaking, because some of these Arab countries are ruled by kings and whatever titles they have. And if you've ever been to Abu Dhabi, magnificence they have created. Dubai, magnificence they have created. And we're not saying they're perfect. There are issues. But Saudi Arabia, my goodness gracious, they're creating and producing, and they are freeing up. What do we mean by that? There's been major restrictions on people throughout the years. They recognize, how do you create and produce? You free people up, versus what's happened in Afghanistan. The Taliban has taken over and have sent the women to the dark ages. And that's what pisses me off about the media not ripping Biden for doing what he did. You care about the women and the women and the women and the women, yet we don't care about the Afghani women that now can't go to school, have to cover their bodies. And if they dare show their face, they'll get the crap beaten out of them, if not worse. So Israel is going to go about their merry way and do great things. And at this point, you can say whatever you want. You can be Tlaib and AOC and the rest of the squad who hates Jews and hates Israel, and then say, "Oh, but we don't hate Jews, but we just but." And that's that. So we're just letting you know. I loathe Biden even more for his butt-isms. I'm tired of him. I can't wait till he's gone. The problem is, I think she's worse. And Trump, God almighty. Well, you know where I stand. But what does that have to do with markets? Well, they had a rough day today. And why would they have a rough day today? Well, why would Lockheed Martin go up $21 today and Northrop Grumman up $15, but the NASDAQ down 278, NASDAQ 100, 287? Just a rough day. Why would oil prices go up $2? Well, the potential. What if Israel decides to take out their oil refiners? In case you don't know, there's the Straits of Hormuz where a lot of oil comes through. Now, I'm not so sure Israel's going to do that because they know that would cause a lot of strife worldwide, not just to the Iranians, but what it would do to the Iranian government is take a lot of money away from them. You know, the money that Biden gave to them. We'll see. I'm not in the minds of the Israeli Defense Force, but I can tell you there will be retaliation for today. Hopefully they found those 2 scumbag terrorists that killed people at the train station in Israel also. But the market definitely reacted to it. But I have to say to you, I think the good stuff remains good, and I think the bad stuff remains bad in the market. Simple as that. What's weak? Semiconductors for the most part. What's weak? Oils, but oils bounce today. Of course they're going to bounce today when oil prices go up $2, but overall still weak. What's strong? China had a strong day again today. They reversed them yesterday, opened them up decently today, and finished them well. China. Just too extended, though. What else? You know, we've been talking about this utility, energy, AI play, symbols CEG, GEV, NRG, VST, had a good day today. While the Dow was down 170 and change and the NASDAQ down 278. And as I looked at other things that were down today, mostly pullbacks. What does that mean, pullbacks? Well, they went up 5 and down 2, not up 2 and down 5. So we have yet to scan. We'll do that tonight, see what we can find. And what we simply do on bad days is we isolate 2 things. Number one, we'll isolate the weak. Weak stocks, you know what they do on bad days? They really show their weakness. You know what the strong stocks do? They really show their strength. So as we have mentioned, the strongest big name stock is Meta, and it was up $4 today. It was actually up 7 at one time, but it was up $4 today with the NASDAQ down 278. Spotify, another name we've highlighted, up 7 today with the NASDAQ down 278. That's what we mean by isolating. Does that mean they're going to keep going higher? No. We're just pointing out today. On the other end, something like an Adobe gapped down on earnings and guidance that wasn't so good. What does it do on a day like today? Oh, down $13. Bunch of the semis down pretty good. The semis have been, as we've told you, the anchor recently. Normally they lead up or down, but right now they're not. Nothing's ever 100%. They'll get their leadership again, both up and down, but not yet. Microsoft remains weak, down 9 today. Microsoft, the first real down day, is down $9. What does that tell me? It tells me it's just weak right now. Of course, they'll report earnings in 3 weeks and maybe it changes, but it tells me it's just a weak stock. But it's Microsoft. Don't care. Apple, Apple was down a big juicy $7 today. I think at one time today Apple was down about 9. What's going on there? Just what we told you, and we've been surprised. Yesterday, this stock was acting pretty darn good and had a potential to break out of this range, and they whacked it today. The news came out again today that their iPhone 16 is selling worse than the iPhone 15, even though they told us the AI in the iPhone 16 is going to really have a big upgrade cycle. May not be. And with a very high valuation, the price earnings multiple for Apple's in the 30s, and for years, more than years, it was trading in mid-teens, which much a higher growth rate than it is now. We'll see. It's still Apple. Up next, what else? We'll continue. Lots to cover. What a day. This is the one and only Investor's Edge.
Listening to
America is talking.
Investor's Edge.
He's got to be pleased with that. The crowd is just on its feet here. He's a Cinderella boy.
With Gary Kaltbaum.
Comes highly recommended. You're going to feel better if you talk to him.
And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. So some other things that act, at least today, Home Depot and Lowe's. Home Depot and Lowe's have been getting upgrades every day that because of interest rates coming down, they're going to be a big help. All I can tell you, their numbers are not very good at all, Home Depot and Lowe's. But the market doesn't really care, and maybe things are getting better, but I must tell you, you know how I tell you our little own channel checks? And you know, we've been wrong before with our channel checks, but very often we are correct. Oh, Starbucks was a great call by us for one of them. Kmart. Boy, and by the way, I believe, I don't know if I mentioned this to you. Let's see. Yeah, Kmart. Former retail giant Kmart will close the doors on its last full-size American store in the coming weeks. We nailed that for you. How did we nail it? By go visiting some stores. So I'm just letting you know, they're saying the business on Home Depot and Lowe's, oh, it's definitely going to get better because interest rates are down, but I'm letting you know, I haven't seen it yet. And just remember, I'm a small sampling, but I think I've got a keen eye. I think I have a keen eye. And what I mean by that is I'm not seeing I don't see their traffic accelerating, at least to my stupid eye. But I will tell you, the stocks are acting like there is. And we'll see how it plays out. So the Home Depot, Lowe's, housing stocks, still no trouble there so far. They're just sitting right now, but you know where they're sitting? Right at the highs. Right at the highs. Some with good earnings, some with not. So the housing, Home Depot, Lowe's, housing related. A Floor and Decor, up near the highs on crappy numbers. So maybe the market's looking at something better. 10-year yield came down today after being up yesterday. Anything else sticking out? My left screen stuck out today. What was my left screen? What is my left screen? Well, in 2021, during 2021, when we recognized that we were going into a bearish phase for growth stocks, we just took stocks off of our front screen that were breaking down. one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one. And I put them on my left screen. And I was able to tell how much trouble markets were in by how many stocks made it to that screen. It was a ton, an absolute ton of names. And they were all growth related, and that's how we were able to stay out of that bear market. Now, of course, a bunch of names have went from the left screen back to the front screen as things got better. But I got to tell you, there's still a ton of them remaining there because they're just weak. They went by the wayside. They have not come back. They had a bad day today. One example, a highly touted name, Snowflake, which has gone from 237 to 110 since January. But more importantly, hit a high of 429 in 2020 and 405 in 21. Went as low as 120 and rallied to 230 as the market came out of the bear, but right back down. There's still a lot of those names. And by making these screens, it enables us to really be able to wash out the crap. Really enables us to wash out the crap. And not have to think about them while the leadership gets on the front screen. And of course, we close our eyes, hold our nose, and pray that they stay leadership. Okay, that doesn't work either. Gold, just riding the rails. Bullish phase until we tell you otherwise. Of unknown price and time. The big breakout was in March, secondary breakout about a month later. Topped out in April, went through about 5-6 months of teasing another breakout and failing and teasing. Well, the latest breakout at around 230 on the GLD, 230 to 235 working. And the initial breakout on GLD was 195. It's 245 since March. Add that up. What is that, 25, 26%? So that's still going on. The gold miners better, but I must repeat again. In the past, gold miners were killers. Were fantastic. If gold would go up 5%, the miners would go up 10%. Now the gold goes up 5%, the miners go up 2%. So I'm still less than thrilled on the miners. We own the metal right now. Maybe one day the miners really wake up in a very big way. Just hasn't happened yet. In the Dow, IBM and 3M are leading. That's all I can tell you. IBM and 3M are leading. 3M, though, keep in mind, stock closed at 137, was 217 in 2018, and is trading where it was in 15. 9 years of no gains on 3M. IBM is at 219. It hit a high of 206 in 2013. So in 11 years, it's up about 5%. You know, no great shakes. But may I state for the record, much better. Much better. And I'm being told there's a little AI in there. I don't know. I'm sick and tired of everybody saying, oh, it's only up because of AI. While we're hearing Apple's not selling phones so great because of AI. NVIDIA, always important. As we told you, we've made very good money this year on NVIDIA. We just bought it, sold it. Broke above a little range, sold it with $1 because it was breaking below the range. And now it's a little bit below that 120 and sitting on the 50-day. It's going to need to hold. It was down $4.50 today. still needs work. And in the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15th week of correction since $140.76 in June, closed at 117 today. Not the end of the world. Last year, spent 5 months range bound before breaking out. Will it do it this time? Sure hope so. We'd rather it break out than break down, because if NVIDIA breaks down, it's because of what we said could possibly happen. Over-ordering, because of all the excitement. And by the way, that's just human nature. All these semiconductor companies, oh, AI, oh, order more. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. And if you over-order, that means you have less to order going forward. And what happens to NVIDIA at that point in time? They have to announce, oh, by the way, so far we haven't heard that. And let's hope we don't. So that's a little bit of the NVIDIA story. I don't have much bad to say. We just don't own it right now. And we tried again. Made a buck. Gary, you trade like that? We try not to. No, really, we try not to. Our goal always is, what's the last one we had? Visa we owned for about 3 years. No, 2.5 years Visa. If we owned something for 2.5 years, that means we made a crap load of money. But just so you know, the markets really haven't let you in recent years. You had the COVID. You had the bear market. I mean, just recently you had the 16% drawdown in like 6 days because of Japan. On the NASDAQ. Up next, what else we got for you? Thanks for being here. I'm Gary. This is the one and only Investor's Edge.
You're listening to...
What are we waiting for? Well, what are you waiting for?
1, 2, ready, go.
Action!
Investor's Edge with Gary Kaltbaum.
And welcome once again to Investor's Edge. Hey, did you hear about the port strike? So let me give you what's going on with the ports. The East Coast longshoremen, whatever the titles they are, make a lot less money than the West Coast, and they're pissed off. They want to get paid more. So I guess they were offered a 50% raise. They want a 67% raise, amongst some other things also. I will let you know that it's Tuesday. I say something gets done by Friday. That's the guess. We are told every day that goes by hurts the economy to the tune of $4.5 billion. I'm not so sure of that, but it certainly does not help. Where does it hurt the worst? Perishables, food, spoils. That's number one. Of course. Companies that have to move things quick because they move in and out. Of course. And it's really a lot of ports at this point in time. The longer it goes, the worse. I don't think it's going to go to the weekend. They usually get these things done. The administration is staying out of it. Would I get involved if I was the administration? You know, I don't know the intricacies of it. But certainly it really could affect the economy. So after a period of time, I'd probably butt in as a negotiator, as a mediator, and I would not do it out loud. I would kind of get in there behind closed doors. And we'll see how it goes. This is muy importante, ladies and gentlemen. It is the flow of stuff, in case you do not know. And I do think FedEx had a good day yesterday because of it. We'll see. Anyway, so that's going on while everything else is going on. So quite the world, and one would think the Dow would be down more than 173 today, but keep in mind when the market has some strife, it'll move into the Dow a little bit. The lower beta, easy to get in and out type stocks. What else? I got to mention Argentina. They have a new guy running the joint named Milei. He's the closest I've seen to Ronald Reagan in a long while. He got rid of price controls on apartments and things like that. And guess what happened? Everything started working out. He's a free market guy, yet the media calls him a extreme right winger because the media sucks. They're really so bad. They really are. I mean, some of the crap they put out. They had this Christiane Amanpour, another Israel hater on CNN today, who is very much the credible one. It's Israel's fault that Hezbollah has been sending 8,000 missiles into Israel. Yeah, it's Israel's fault. Right. She couldn't last 5 minutes with me if I showed her the pictures when I was in Israel many years ago, and Israel never even answered for those rockets going in. They just stopped them. Think I like the media? It's just nauseating to watch some of them. That's why I love Neil Cavuto and Bret Baier on Fox so much. Martha McCallum and Sandra Smith and others. I like down the middle. I want to hold the powerful to account. I'm not talking about opinion people. I know what you hear about opinion people. I got nothing against anybody's opinion that are opinion people. I'm talking the anchors. I'm talking about the two anchors that did the ABC. Was it ABC? Yeah, ABC debate with Trump and Harris. It was a joke. It was a joke. Total bias BS, though Trump blew it. What a whiff. What an absolute whiff by Trump on that. Anyway, we'll keep reporting on that, and we won't have any bias. We'll tell you like it is. We get the emails from Trump people as well as the others, good and bad. That tells us we're doing our job because we're going to just tell you the honest truth here. Seriously. We need the honest truth. We hear all the time, this is the most important election we've ever had. We're getting close. The good news is I'm pretty sure no matter what, we're going to have some gridlock. And gridlock for this government is a good thing. We cannot continue on this trajectory. No chance. Of bigger government and lesser economy. Us working doubly hard for the economy while they take out a machete and cut us at our knees and a mallet and bang us over the head. And they do it with debt, deficits, and their growth. And it's got to stop. And the Republicans can tell us all they want. It's all because of them. Horse crap. One's worse than the other, though. What do we got, about 36 days? Well, we'll keep you up to date on what's going on. There is a vice presidential debate tonight, which means absolutely zero, because I don't think it changes the playing field unless somebody really whiffs. And by the way, this guy Waltz, if he was a Republican, he would have been already drummed out he would have already been drummed out. The media would have been calling him on. Boy, oh boy, this guy's got George Santos BS all over him. George Santos BS all over him. So, have a great time tonight with the VP and the Mets. First game of the playoffs. And until tomorrow, I'll be on 1 p.m. tomorrow, Fox Business Network. Have a great evening. Drive carefully. And when you get home, do like we do. Quite simple. Make sure you hug your family. Make sure you hug your children. They will feel better. You will feel better, I promise. Stay well, be well. Serenity now. Good night.
This has been Investor's Edge with Gary Kaltbaum on BizTalk. To listen to past episodes or to get in contact with Gary, go to GaryK.com. That's GaryK.com.